one day and said, babe, I need to tell you something, but I don't want you to get mad. I'm like, okay, like, what happened? He's like, no, babe, this was kind of weird, but I'm going to tell you because, if I don't tell you, I want you to find out or some way or the other, or, or go through my phone and you think I'm trying to hide something, but I'm going to tell you. I said, what's up, babe? Like, what happened? He's like, well, one of your girls, one of your friends, one of my so-called friends, one of my girls, text him talking about, hey, boo. I'm already like, what? Hey, boo. Hey, boo, by any chance, are you busy? I just need a male's perspective. I need a male's advice. And I kind of want to like talk to you about it. Is there any way that I could like pull up after work or something and us talk about it?
This goes back to social skills.
See that word delicious? Grapes are. Strawberries are. Pancakes are. But the man sitting next to me, under no circumstances.
The word delicious had nothing to do with your man.
But do you still think that's appropriate to say?
I didn't see anything wrong with what I was saying. I didn't mean it in a disrespectful way. I tried to.
Do you guys remember that episode of Mob Wives where the whole delicious comment and Natalie couldn't understand why saying a woman's man is delicious was inappropriate or smelled delicious. She couldn't understand it. That's why social skills are important. Now, Natalie was socially awkward. Renee was in the right. Grapes are delicious. Pancakes are delicious. Pineapples are delicious. My man to you, an outside woman, is not delicious. She was absolutely right. But again, if a woman is a little socially awkward or she doesn't have social skills or she just can't put two and two together, she's going to constantly be putting herself in these weird scenarios where she's on the receiving end of hostility because she said or did something that, again, it's triggering others because you don't think it's wrong, but it is, right? When you're out and about with a man and he's talking about how hot another woman looks, rage baiting. When you're out with a woman and she's bragging about all of her men that she's been with in the past and her exes, rage baiting. When you are talking to another person, an associate, and they keep name dropping a person that they know you have bad blood with, rage baiting, okay? Rage baiting. When a woman compliments another woman while insulting her at the same time, rage baiting. People do this sometimes to me in my comment section where they'll bring up someone's name that they know is always, talking about me negatively, this engaging in some type of one-sided imaginary beef. They will purposefully come in my comment section or when I'm on live and they'll start dropping that person's name. And then I block them because I know you're rage baiting me. You're trying to get me to say something so that the other party can have some type of leverage. So this is a game that humans play. Okay, like I said, people are not that sharp. You can easily be sharper than the rest of the population by just learning their tactics, their antics, their traits, and what they do. Psychologically, these games people play, human nature is textbook, right? People are textbook. So there's really no surprises. When you learn humans, they're all pretty much textbook. They kind of follow the same models depending on how they feel about you. So for example, if someone has a problem with you secretly that you don't know about, meaning under the table, this person secretly doesn't like you, they will be rage baiting you a lot. Like what this woman's friend is doing to her, right? When someone secretly doesn't like you, they will be rage baiting you all throughout the friendship, all throughout the relationship. They are going to rage bait. They are going to say things, bring up things to you that, that they know is going to trigger you or set you off. And what you do when people do that is you reject them, meaning you reject them out of your life. And you don't wait until the third rage bait. You get rid of them the first time they try it. I think that what really plays against humans, okay, especially when someone encounters somebody that's serious, is people always believe that there's going to be some type of second chance. They always put in their mind that I can do this to this person. They're going to give me a second chance. Not all of us give second chances. especially when it comes to certain behaviors that are sadistic. So a lot of people put in their mind, I'm going to rage bait him. I'm going to rage bait her. And it's okay because they're going to give me a couple passes before they figure out that I actually don't like them and I'm secretly wanting to see them upset. You rage bait me one time, I'm getting rid of you. There will be no second chance. And a lot of people, they always have this assumption that they're going to get a second chance. And the reason why they feel that way is because most people don't have boundaries. Most people have not been taught boundaries. And most people don't know when to give someone a chance and when not to. When someone is rage baiting you and they're purposefully premeditating how they're going to do it, that should tell you this person wants me upset for whatever particular reason. This is a snake. I should get them out of my life. This woman's friend was baiting her. Even calling her husband and not even letting her know about it, right? Her friend didn't even let her know. Her husband had to tell her, hey, your friend called me. Her friend didn't even tell her. So this is a friend who secretly doesn't like her, is baiting her, and wants her to get upset. That is somebody that should be rejected from your life and to never enter into your life again because they don't like you. And I think the issue with a lot of people is the failure to recognize when someone doesn't like you. When someone doesn't like you, you need to accept it. You need to ride on it. You need to see it for what it is. You need to ponder on it. And then you need to let that person go. They're not going to change how they feel towards you. You guys need to be able to tell when somebody is playing a psychological game with you. Seriously. Like, this rage baiting, like anytime I see scenarios like that, like what that woman was talking about, anytime I see a scenario like that, or a woman explains it to me, I always tell her, it's not about the man, ma'am, it's about you. It's not about the man, ma'am, it's about you. This person wants a negative response from you, okay? That's why they're doing what they're doing. It's called baiting, okay? She's baiting you, okay? She's doing things. I remember I had this one friend when I was in college, and every time we would go out and I'm with my guy, she would purposefully sit across from him, and I would notice her pulling her shirt down, like plumping her titties and pulling her shirt and plumping her titties. And I'm like, why is she doing that? And then the first time it happened, I'm like, okay, well, maybe, her bra's probably too small. Her bra's probably a little bit too, and I understand that. And then the second time it kept happening. And then it got to the point where my guy, he looked at me, he's like, I don't really know if that's your friend. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know. Like, she is like usually trying to sit across from me. She's trying to pump up her boobs. She's always moving her body in this whining manner. Like when she walks, like she's whining her hips in front of me. And I'm like, why does she keep doing that? And then again, I've realized that a lot of these women are in friendships with other women that they don't like. They secretly have a major problem with you. And they're trying to bait you or do certain things to get a negative response out of you. And it's like, it goes right back to when I say the poking the bear and hiding your hand. How many women will poke bears and hide their hands. They do it all the time. They will do these weird things, and then when you address them about it, they're going to be like, what? No. Because it's done in such a covert way that you can't notice it. Or if you explain it to another person, they're going to be like, oh, Mel, you're just thinking too hard. But the person really is trying to bait you, right? And I think that's what's going on here with this content creator. And that's why I always tell women, when you see this kind of stuff, even when you're a man, when you see someone is doing this and you can tell why they're doing it, cut them off. Cut them off. They're trying to rage bait you and give you high blood pressure. Nobody needs high blood pressure for no reason. Just cut them off and move on. Okay? Cut them off and move on. I think there was an example. Let me give another example. I think there was a time somebody was rage baiting my mother. What did they do? I'm trying to think of what they did. And I remember she was explaining it to me. And I told her, get away from that person. That person's baiting you. What did they do? What did they do? I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, she was meeting up with a person that was supposed to give her something. And every time she would go to the person, they would say, oh no, not this week, next week, not this week, next week. And every time she would show up, it's always next week, next week, next week, next week, next week. And I told her, I'm like, this person just wants to get you upset. They want to rage bait you. And essentially this person wants you to, they just want you to go in a circle. They want you to run in a circle and dance in place, right? It's a rage baiting tactic. Women do it all the time. Men do it all the time. Once you clock it, you get away from the person. That tea. This has nothing to do with my husband and her wanting advice about my husband. It's not even about my husband. It's about me. She's trying to rage bait me. Now, let me talk to you guys about, okay, let's talk about some kindergarten level stuff. Okay? Social skills. Okay, social skills, polish, etiquette, elegance, balance, structure, knowing what's appropriate, what's not. It's never and will never be appropriate to reach out to a woman's man and try to talk to him without her knowledge. Okay? First of all, the social skills class is this Sunday at 7, by the way. We'll discuss stuff like this. What's appropriate and what's not. Appropriate behavior versus inappropriate behavior. Now, am I going to say that this woman did it on purpose to rage bait her friend? It's a possibility. Two things can be true at the same time. It's a possibility. But I do know a lot of women struggle with social skills. So it could also be a possibility that she thought that was normal. She thought, oh, I'm around her husband all the time. I don't think she would mind that I would call him without her knowledge and ask him questions and try to meet up with him. A lot of women do wild stuff like that. Do they do it on purpose? It's a possibility. Do they just think they just don't know that it's inappropriate? That's also a possibility. This goes back to insert when, what's her name, called Renee's man delicious. Oh, wow, this is your man. He smells delicious. You guys remember that? She thought that was cute. She didn't think that was anything wrong. And Renee's like, you can't call my man delicious. That's inappropriate. That's my man. Like, you don't know, like, you can't do that. But she thought it was normal. She was confused as to why Renee was upset. Because she's like, what do you mean? I'm not trying to flirt with him. He does smell delicious. But a lot of women, again, they don't know. They don't know. Which is why social skills, I'll probably have a social skills class every month. Just so that you know, so that you don't end up in a negative situation with somebody you care about because you simply didn't know the skills, the social skills. Now, here's the gist. Here's my gist. I don't know, y'all. It's weird. I just don't understand why somebody would think it would be okay to try to meet with someone's husband, with your friend's husband, without her knowledge. Like, why are you being sneaky? Why are you being sneaky? You're trying to be like a little mouse. What are you doing? For me, this is what I would think. If I was her and I needed advice from my friend's husband, and he's a great guy, and I need a male perspective, I would call her and tell her to put him on the line so we can do a 3-way call and I can speak to him and get his opinion. Right? But you got to have some form of etiquette and social skills to know how to do that. Like, I would never, ever in a million years talk to my friend's man without her knowing, or meet up with him, or I would never do that. I would never do that because that's being weird. Like, that's not appropriate. There was a time I went out with my girlfriends. This was years ago when I was in high school. And I had a car. I dropped them off, and her boyfriend needed a ride home. Mind you, it's like 1:30 in the morning. And she's like, oh, Mel, can you drop him home for me? And he was living like maybe 15 minutes from the location. And I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah. I said, okay, cool. So I drove him home, and me and him, we were just talking and laughing and listening to music and having conversation. And I dropped him home, and I said, all right, have a good night. It was nothing. And I noticed that when it was another friend, she didn't trust the other friend to ever drop her boyfriend off, but she trusted me. Why? Because she can tell I'm not on that kind of time. That weird stuff that women like to do with each other. That's why I'm so strict with women, because I feel like a lot of them know what they're doing. I think they get away with it because nobody ever says anything about it. It's never appropriate to meet up with a friend's husband or boyfriend behind their back. That's like basic etiquette skills. I don't understand why you don't understand that. I feel like, in my opinion, you probably wanted to meet up with her man because you thought that maybe he was going to get nasty with you. Get nasty. Make it nasty. You thought he was going to make it nasty with you, right? You thought that he was the type of guy that was also a narcissist like you, probably. She's probably a narcissist. And he was going to be like, ooh, let me meet up with her. Let's get sexy. But that's not what happened, right? He told his wife, hey, I don't want to tell you this, but, because again, some men would have hopped on that and said, oh, hell yeah, I get a chance to, get with my wife's friends. Hell yeah. If it's a narcissistic man, he would meet with her and not tell her about it. So clearly she has a good husband because he told her that's kind of weird, right? Men act out more in relationships. Women act out more in friendships. Men act out more in relationships. Women act out more in friendships. Never forget that. This is why you will see a woman do all this crazy stuff to her girlfriends, all this low-level gutter rat snot stuff to friends, but she worships her husband, she worships her boyfriend, she praises him, she brings him her love, her care, her nurture, her warmth. Women are usually great in relationships, romantic relationships. That's where they put their best foot forward. Outside of that, when they're dealing with other women in the collective, they're not like how they are in relationships. Men usually are on a vibe, but when they get into relationships, that's kind of when they start to act up. That's when they kind of start to do all of the nagging and all that stuff, because I'm guessing that's how the system made it. That's how the patriarchy made it. But men usually start acting up within relationships, but just platonically, they're usually a vibe, which is why I said men are usually easier to work with. Now, what's going on here is a baiting situation, okay? You guys know online they have this thing called rage baiting, right? Whenever I see a content creator is rage baiting, I block the person, right? The minute I see their video, I block them. And I can tell when a content creator is trying to rage bait, because what they say, like their opening lines, is something that's completely out of whack, completely non-conventional, completely crazy. And they do it to draw a crowd in. Essentially, it's like harvesting and siphoning. It's like someone goes online saying, I don't know, it's like somebody will go online, they'll say, all black people smell bad, or all Asian people, make the worst spouses. Like whatever wild, extreme statement, they say it to draw in a crowd, right? That's rage baiting on the internet. And I block people like that. Why? Because they're not really putting out authentic content. They're just putting out content to get people upset so that they can get more views, more likes, more comments. Typical narcissistic tactic. Now, let's talk about baiting in real life, though. Okay, we'll talk about this in the Emotional Intelligence Masterclass, September 21st. You guys have to be able to recognize when somebody is trying to, the way my father would say it, when somebody's trying to pull your chain, right? When somebody is trying to do something to you that looks like it's innocent, but they're really trying to play games with you, right? It's one of those psychological games. So this woman is talking about her friend that called up her husband. Okay. Socially awkward. Okay. Social awkwardness masterclass this Sunday at 7 p.m. Again, lack of social skills, right? You don't call a woman's husband. You don't pick up the phone and dial a woman's husband's number, your friend's husband's number ever, or boyfriend. The only time you reach out to a friend's boyfriend or husband is if you're planning a surprise for your friend, or your friend's boyfriend is about to propose to her, and you and your friend's boyfriend, you guys are planning the proposal. Or if there's been an unfortunate unaliving in the family and you're reaching out to your friend's man to get her flowers or do a spa or a trip for her. But outside of those lines, you don't reach out to your friend's husband or man. And the way that I see it is, I don't address women about stuff like that because you know what you're doing. You know it's inappropriate. You just want to, again, it's a one-sided, imaginary, competitive thing that the other friend has going on that she's not aware of. And she thinks that it's just, oh, she's reaching out to my husband. That's not right. It's not about your husband. It has nothing to do with your husbands. It's nothing to do with your husbands. It has to do with how she feels about you. Okay? And these are the baiting tactics that women do when they are friends with a woman that they secretly don't like. They start to do these stupid things, these micro things, and they do it in a covert way so that you don't realize what they're doing. Hopefully that woman is no longer her friend. Me personally, I don't have conversations with people like that because you know what you're doing. Somebody like that just gets blocked. Like, I'm not even going to talk to you because you know what you're doing, right? I think that when you start to talk to people when they do these things, what you're doing is you're giving them your energy because they wanted to siphon your energy anyways. So when you start to talk to them, like, why did you reach out to my husband? That wasn't very appropriate. Why would you? That's what she wants. She wants a negative emotional response out of you. Narcissistic men and narcissistic women, they do these things. It's like starting a fight with your daughter on her graduation day. That's what narcissistic mothers do. Anytime it's a big event for someone else, they will start a fight with them that day or an argument with them. Or they'll start crying that day because they want the attention back on them. It's a cry for attention. All of these things that you guys see men and women do, it's all a cry for attention. Some people feel so invisible in life. Like, some people feel invisible, right? And I know somebody feels invisible in life when they do wild things to get people's attention, right? Go heal. Go to therapy, go heal. Go deconstruct what your problem is. Go heal, get a mentor, whatever you need to do. But people who are serious about life, we're going to just get you out of the way. Because if you're doing wild things just to get attention, I'm not your mother. I'm not going to tolerate that from you. That's for kids. That's for toddlers. That's for kindergartners that do things to get attention or start crying when they want an adult to pay attention to them. But as an adult, that's just being a loser when you do things because you want attention, right? So when it comes to boundaries and female friendships, first of all, I always tell women, I don't really like the ideal of having a friend around your family. I just don't like that. And the reason why I don't like that is because I feel like a lot of women, it's a lot of cries for attention. You know, I've noticed that women do a lot of things to get attention. It's a cry for attention because a lot of women they haven't found their bliss in life. So because they haven't found their bliss, it's almost like they annoy other women, right? A lot of women, they do these annoying things to other women because they don't feel like they have a purpose, right? They don't feel like they have something to look forward to. So because of that, they do these things to other women, whether it's their friends, whether it's their daughters, whether it's their mothers, whether it's their sister-in-laws, whether it's their coworkers. They do these things because they feel invisible. And the only way that they feel visible is by triggering another woman in a negative manner. That's the only way they feel visible to you, right? So I understand why women who are married sometimes will say, oh, I don't have single friends. I don't want single friends. I don't want to allow single women around my marriage. Now that I'm getting older, I can understand it. I can't say I agree with it 100%, but is that a pretty solid boundary? It depends. Okay, it depends. What type of women are you hanging with? If you're hanging with women who are male-centered, then male-centered women want attention from any guy that's nearby, right? They want attention from any guy that's nearby, even if it's your husband. These are the women who go out with their girlfriends and start plumping up their boobs around their friend's crush. These women want attention wherever they can get it. So the boundary for her is it's not even about, oh, I don't want my friend around my husband. I don't want my friend around my man. That's not even the boundary. The boundary is, what type of women are you building a bond with? Because if she's insecure and she's male-centered and she doesn't feel like she has a purpose in life and she hasn't found herself, all she's going to do is come in your life and turn it upside down. I don't have any friends, but I will only allow a woman on an associate or on a closer level if I feel like she's a woman that has a lot going for herself. Because women who have a lot going for themselves, they don't have the time for hoopla. People who have a lot on their plate, right? They got a lot going for themselves. They have a lot that they want to accomplish. They have a lot that they want to do. People like that don't have time for BS. They simply don't have the mental capacity to do these weird things. These are people who don't have a purpose, who don't feel like they have anything going for themselves. So because they feel that way, it's a constant cry for attention. Even her calling the woman's husband was a cry for attention. Ma'am, why are you calling this grown man? And then again, this goes back to social skills. You call your friend, right? This goes back to what I say when I say women know exactly what they're doing. They do these things on purpose. You call your friend. You say, hey, babe, how are you? I'm doing good. What's going on? Listen, I wanted to know if I could take you and your husband out to lunch because I need some advice. Really? What do you mean? You are married to a wonderful man. He's great. I'm dealing with a situation with a guy right now, and I feel like your husband will be able to give me some insight. So can we all go out to lunch? And maybe you can also chime in and tell me what you think. But again, a lot of women, they do these socially awkward things. There's a lack of social skills. There's a lack of polish. There's a lack of etiquette. Bring etiquette courses back in 2026. Please, let's bring etiquette back. Because these are basic principles that I feel like a lot of people don't understand. This goes back to the lady that humiliated the woman on stage. As people, there's no polish, there's no etiquette. So they don't know what's appropriate and what's not, right? You never invite a woman's husband to have a conversation with you, sit with you, talk to you if the wife is not present. That is basic level etiquette skills, right? Which is why I personally feel like she did it on purpose. That's what I think. I think she did it on purpose. I think that, that's the vibe I got. I think she did it on purpose. And single women being friends with married women being friends with single women, these friendships can only exist if both parties, both women are confident in themselves. That's the only way it can happen. Because one thing I will say is women want what other women have. They always want what another woman has. So because they always want what another woman has, and they're around your husband and they see how he treats you and they see how he loves on you and they see how happy you guys are, she wants a piece of that. Insert Portia and Fallon. These women come to around your family. They see the way your husband treats you. They see him grilling on the grill by the pool. They see the kids running all laughing and happy with their floaties. They see your nice house. They see your husband flirting with you and winking at you, and they envy that. And if they can't take that, they'll destroy that. You don't bring them around your inner circle of family like that. Unless she's also married or also single like you or whatever, because married women do bully single women too. That's a whole other subject. Married women think they're better than single women. Single women think they're better than married women. Child-free women think they're better than child women, than women who have children. Women who think they have children think that they're better than childless women. It's a whole bunch of BS. It's like everybody just be happy. Do what works for you. Nobody's better than the other. Whatever works for you, whatever makes you happy, that's what you should do. Nobody has the right to say, oh, I have a child, you don't, I'm better than you. I'm married, you're not, I'm better than you. Or the other thing, or vice versa. Stop doing that. Everybody has their own divine path. And if your divine path doesn't include marriage, then oh well. If it does, great. Either way, we shouldn't be judging each other based on those weird low-level things. That's just creating more divide amongst humanity. And humanity's already screwed up, so we don't need to be increasing low-level division, right? So this woman was trying to bait her friend, all right? She was trying to bait her. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You know what? I'll give you guys an example of what I mean when I say this is a classic case of a woman who's friends with a woman that she doesn't like, okay? She's friends with a woman that she does not like. And as a result of that, she's doing things covertly, not overtly. She's covertly doing things to pull the lady's chain. But she doesn't see that, okay? It's a cry for attention. That's why I say first of all, coaches don't play, right? Coaches don't play. When you know the game, you don't play in the game, you teach it. Coaches don't play. So when I encounter women or men and they do these baiting tactics on me and they think that I don't know that they're trying to bait me, they're just rejected. Like, they're just removed out of my life. It's simple, it's easy, it's quick. It happens in a blink of an eye. It's like, again, why are you trying to get a negative response out of somebody that you claim you love and care about? Like, humans are such liars. That's the problem. You claim you love this person, but you're doing things. I have never purposefully tried to trigger somebody I cared about, ever. I'm always thinking about people I care about and their feelings and how I affect them. I'm not going to purposefully do something that I know is going to piss you off. But those are the games that people play because they're narcissistic, sociopathic. They feel like they don't have a purpose. They're very unhappy in life. So this is what they do for attention. It's really all about your attention. They just want it. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, keep people out of your marriages. Keep people out of your relationship life. Don't really bring people around that part of your life. It's really none of their business. I think people just get meddlesome. A lot of relationships that I felt like have come to an end has come to an end because people started inserting people into their relationship. Because people do a lot of prying and meddling when they see two couples are happy to break them up, because some people are just not happy themselves. So don't take the bait, right? When you notice that a woman or a man is trying to bait you and they're doing things on purpose to purposefully get a negative response out of you, that is your signal to be like, all right, let me go ahead and get you out of here, because you clearly don't like me because you're trying to get a response out of me. You're trying to bait me into anger. That is what narcissists do. They bait you into anger. They purposefully do things to make you angry because narcissists thrive on negative emotion. That's why narcissists hate happy people. They hate to see a smile on people's face. They hate to see people excited, right? Narcissists hate to see somebody that's about to celebrate something. Narcissists don't like other people being happy. So that is why they purposefully rage bait, right? And they purposefully do things to make you hate yourself or not like yourself. Once you have an understanding of this, you are not going to allow them to do that to you because you know what they're doing, okay?
Are you socially awkward? If this is something that you are struggling with, the ability to have superb social skills, etiquette, the ability to understand social cues, the ability to go in a room, read the room, work the room, and put your best foot in. Are your emotions controlling you, or are you controlling your emotions? Emotional control is a big thing. In this class, we will talk about the skills, a little bit of the skill of thinking as well, and just how you can live your life in a way where your emotions are not your master.